Welcome to Unemployed and Afraid, a podcast that explores the glorious mess of building your own business with the people doing it. I'm your host and fellow business builder, Kim Curtin. Thank you for being here. Let's get into some good, honest, small business chat. Is it just me, or is Christmas wind down time kicking off earlier and earlier? Because I swear it feels like there's a big cohort that have been saying, as the year draws to a close, since around about October 1st. I'm recording this for you on the 27th of November, so there's definitely some relevance to that moment in the moment right now. But this is a lesson I'm going to take into every month of the year as something to better watch out for and to plan for. It certainly seemed safe to think that in October there was still an entire quarter left of the year in which to accomplish so much, revenue-wise, planning-wise, new clients, new skills, all the things that encapsulate that business drive energy. And, maybe even not a full quarter, but at least most of a quarter. But when it comes to the broader cohort of humans, the broader narrative, the energy does feel a little different. And it feels like that excited desire to crack on and keep doing great work until it really is time to take a minute and take a rest is bumping up against the overwhelming desire generally for things to slow down or just stop entirely. This is a very, very challenging period. The overwhelming narrative that I'm seeing on LinkedIn, my diary of sorts, is one of winding down, of crawling to the finish line, of having no headspace left for something new. It does feel like there's many that are just kind of done. And the term, as the year draws to a close, seems to be the opening line of everything from reflection posts, last-minute sales pitches, and New Year planning pledges. So this definitely tells us something about what to avoid. We're operating in emotionally challenging times for sure. That relevance is so important for us that are consuming the news, the socials, and engaging with pretty intense global intensity in news. Life does feel particularly heavy. And this goes an understandably long way to reducing our collective energy, no doubt about it. So maybe that's what's driving it too. But this is the whole picture that I feel like has been quite dominant. In my local area in the sunny coast, I noticed Christmas decorations go up. I think it was the second week of October, which felt a lot. It seemed very early, and I could most certainly do a whole episode on the way in which festive fun of all types seems heavily more encouraged lately to get us spending more and achieving less. But I will leave that for another day. But it really does seem like the energy shifted faster this year than ever before, which isn't ideal for a number of us business owners, myself included, but it does work to teach us a really valuable lesson for what we can do right now and for how we can think about the next year in our businesses and the years after. That early wind down makes for a particularly challenging time of the year for my friends in service-based industries. Of course, it's also very stressful if you're in e-commerce, but for a different reason. If you're in a consulting business, the gig economy, or selling valuable services, which is me, that's what I do too, as well as content creation, it's harder to know what to go to market with and when, and how to drive income and revenue between the endless Christmas wind down and whenever time people come back to work. It just feels like it goes on for years. You might be asking yourself, do you pitch the new client with a last minute offer, or is that going to be damaging to the relationship given the collective energy that they may be feeling a part of? Do you release a new resource or digital product, or is that going to get lost in the clutter because the mindset might be less open right now? These are questions I've been asking myself a lot these last few weeks in looking at forward planning and thinking about opportunities and thinking about all the things that I want to achieve and also income portals. But as those weeks pass, the answers get even more unclear. I have been thinking that maybe with a little luck, this early wind down, if that's fair to say, as I really do feel like it's been earlier this year than ever. Would love to know if it's just me noticing it for the first time or you feel the same. But perhaps with some luck, it means that the energy maybe picks up a bit earlier in the new year. Who knows? We're always on the side of luck, hopefully. But if you're in this moment now and thinking, oh shit, if things are pretty well done before the end of November, and potentially not back to normal until late January, we could be in revenue trouble here. Well, feel you. But the only advice I have is to forget what we think may or may not
quote unquote work and just throw whatever we need to out there. And the marketing side of my brain does tell me one thing, one opportunity though, that may help cut through. The huge majority of posts in my feed use language like I've joked about through this entire episode, as the year draws to a close, or if you want to hit the ground running in January type language. And this can easily become wallpaper. When I'm working with clients in their podcasts and brands who want to make podcasts, I'm constantly talking about podcasting wallpaper. I try really hard to avoid it, but sometimes you just have to say it. But things like subscribe now or leave a review or welcome back to the episode in this episode, things like that, new episode alert. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you know how much I hate posts that talk about new episode alerts because they just don't cut through to consumers. But it's all about that wallpaper mentality. And how can we avoid falling into that too much, being culturally aware of the narrative that's around us, but not just getting lost in what looks like a reflection. If you want to stand out, maybe it's a good time to avoid the holiday language and just speak to your consumer about why they should care about what you offer, regardless of the time of the year, just because it's valuable and because it's made for them. They'll always make the decision in context to what they have the headspace for. So being culturally aware and thinking about what that might be, but also allowing people to make their own decisions, knowing that they will anyway. It's better than being quiet and just shutting down and saying nothing and then coming back in and amongst the noise in January, or just sitting around trying to figure out what to do or just wait for this period to pass. If you want to stand out, maybe it's a good time to avoid the holiday wallpaper language and just speak to your consumer about why they should care about what you offer, regardless of the time of the year, just because it's a valuable offer. They'll always make the decision in context to what they have their headspace for. It's important to be culturally aware of the tone that's going on, but it's also important to stay present. And it's better than being quiet and just trying to figure out what to do, or worse, like wait for this period to pass, especially if you're also feeling quite tired. It's okay to keep driving your business forward in whatever way suits you when it feels like everyone is telling you it's time to slow down. This is just a little bit of a different thought, but I want to encourage you in this space because our worlds are a little different. Not only do many of us, if you're a solo operator too, miss the end of year good vibes entirely without Christmas parties, but it's also hard for us to feel confident about taking time off at all, about taking the awareness and the work and the little 1%ers of our business to take time off from those feels really challenging. And then there's the extra mental load on top of the already heavy business mental load, where we're also thinking about all of the shoulds and wants that come along with the holiday period and spending valuable quality time with family and friends. It's just a weird time. And so acknowledging that and just doing whatever you need to do in a way that's right for you personally, for your family, for your friends, and for your business is perfectly fine. As a side note, I've always thought in the land of podcasting and content creation in particular that it seems a strange time to go dark, as so many amazing humans do have more time in their day to engage with things they love, to find new podcasts, new Substacks, new general content accounts, influential people with a really great expertise, and even just save a post from someone with a cool offer to refer back to soon when they feel ready. So if, like me, you feel like you're stuck in this tornado of weird time when don't feel quite ready to wrap it all up yet and tools down and reflect and plan for the new year, and you kind of still want to put things out there and you still want to make moves and then take some time when you feel ready to, you don't have to wrap it all up yet. And your consumers might not want to wrap it up yet either. And if your business needs you to do more and stay present, you just do what you have to and take your time to wrap up however works for you in your unique world. When it comes to business, I truly think sometimes it's better for us to be contextually aware, but not lean too far into a collective narrative, but to offer something different and stand out. You can expect me to still show up in your feed here with an episode every week through the holiday period. There'll be a couple of weeks where I won't have interviews, those weeks where it is Christmas and also New Year's. I won't have interview episodes. You'll be able to go back and hear all of those, but I will be showing up for you here in a solo format, still giving you something to think about, some insights, some personal overshares, all of the things to help you build your business and create the world that you want and make some amazing, amazing roads for for next year and well beyond. So I will still continue to show up here in this podcast and also on the Unemployed and Afraid Substack. So if you haven't already signed up, you can get my insights, knowledge, random things, all of the good business insights that sit at that intersection between personal growth and entrepreneurship right into your inbox. So you can do a little cheeky read when you should be listening to something that maybe a family member is telling you. So I'd love you to subscribe and I will see you there.
Thank you for listening to Unemployed and Afraid, the podcast for small business builders with your host, me, Kim Curtin. If you love it, you can say thanks with a star rating and a review. And of course, join the community on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Find us at Unemployed and Afraid wherever you're hanging out, and I'll see you there.